come on, Butter. Oh, come on.
Eddie's little bite, do. Eddie's little bites, do. Eddie's little bites. Hi guys, it's Eddie on Eddie's Little Bites, and today we're gonna be making chicken stew. But I don't feel very good. I have. Oh God.
Salmonella poisoning is what you got.
It makes me so I can't make food for a few weeks.
Yeah, but you're getting better.
And it would make me feel better if you subscribe to my channel and click the bell and comment on this video. And thumbs up this video.
Will that make you feel a lot better if people do that for you?
Yeah.
Hey guys, it's Daddy Bites here. As you heard, unfortunately Eddie isn't feeling too well and asked me to make the chicken stew that we posted on Instagram and Twitter after we had a bunch of comments asking us to make it because they were interested. So here we are. So in order to make our chicken stew, you're going to need a few items. First of all, chicken, obviously. Salt, pepper, oil, butter, potatoes, onions, garlic, thyme, flour, chicken broth, dry wine, corn, carrots, and some whipping cream, although we use half and half. And stay tuned because we actually have a few food hacks in this episode that will help make the stew a lot easier to make. So a lot less work for those that are going to try to make it at home. So with that, let's go! We begin by cutting up 2 tablespoons of butter into little pieces for the pot. This just makes it easier for the butter to melt because we also are going to be adding oil and the chicken for browning. We're going to start by heating our pan to a medium heat, and we are going to add approximately 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. That's about right there. And our butter. Alright, so I've added the butter. As you can see, it's starting to melt there, so we want to move it around, get it broken up a little bit. So I put the chicken in, and we want to make sure to cook the chicken
very thoroughly.
Very thoroughly. As you can see, Mommy Bites is now holding the camera. I needed help. I was having a very difficult time doing this on my own. And as I said, I already seasoned the chicken with the salt and pepper. And I'm going to turn it down to a low medium. While the chicken is cooking, you want to cut up, the recipe calls for 2 large onions to be cut up, yet we only use 1 large onion and it usually works pretty well. We have not had a problem with 1 onion. So, I love when that happens. Oh, magic knife. Okay, so next thing that we do is we pull the chicken out. As you can see, it's all cooked through. And we take it out and put it in a bowl to save for later. And then we're going to add the onion, garlic, thyme to the pot to begin that cook. Oh, beautiful. Look at all that yummy goodness down in the bottom there. Alright, so I'm going to add our onion. And I will add the garlic and thyme, and we will be back. Okay, so we've added the garlic, thyme, And also the onion. And now we stir for 2 minutes to let it start to cook. Doesn't that look delicious? Oh, if you guys could only smell this. It smells so good in here with that fresh onion and thyme and garlic. Oh, it's wonderful. So again, we're letting it cook for about 2 to 4 minutes. And then next we'll be adding some flour to thicken it up before moving on. So now we are going to add 4 tablespoons of flour to thicken the mixture up. And then we are going to stir this in, and as you're going to see, it's going to get really, really thick. And Eddie is now here helping and filming. See what I mean? It gets really, really thick. We stir this for about 1 minute. Okay, with that in there, next we are going to add a half a cup of a dry wine. It's okay because the wine will get, the alcohol will get burned off in the process, which is fine. And then we stir this in.
Look at all that. It looks like... Daddy, do you know what it looks like?
What does it look like?
It looks like, what is it? Oatmeal. Kind of looks like oatmeal.
We are also going to add chicken broth.
Chicken broth.
Chicken broth. Yeah, that's about half. All right, 3.5 cups of broth. And we're going to stir that in.
And he's stirring again, stirring again, stirring.
Stir, stir, stir. All day long. Stir, stir, stir. All day long. And then next we're going to start adding in the vegetables once it's started to boil. And again, stay tuned for some quick hacks coming up next.
Woo!
Okay, so it's been about 3 minutes. And you gotta continue to stir this until it starts to boil. But boy, is it fragrant in here between the chicken broth, the wine, the thyme, the onion, the garlic. Oh, just so good. Such a great, hearty meal once this is all said and done.
It is one of the best.
So now we're going to be getting ready to add the next ingredients. So we need to add 2 smaller cans of corn niblets. You can either drain it and add water in the previous step, or add all the corn with water, which is what we do. Also, you need to chop up a lot of potatoes. So here's the hack. What we do, instead of cutting up the potatoes, is we buy a bag of hash browns. That's right, hash browns.
And I like them like that.
And it is awesome in the stew. And the other thing that we do is, instead of chopping up multiple carrots, we just buy a bag of shredded carrots.
It's easy.
It's so easy, and it's about the same price, believe it or not, when we're done. Okay, so this is starting to come to a boil now. So now for the part we add
the corn. Get all that corn.
So delicious.
Get all that corn.
Here's our bag of carrots.
Look at the chips.
And of course we washed our hands, because, you know, you need to wash your hands. Eddie is not allowed to touch any of the food because he had been sick. So doctor's orders. Yep. And then the hash browns. Holy cow. That's a lot more than normal.
Okay, now I can see.
Mama Bites must have bought the bigger bag.
Yep, the big bag.
Alright, so now we stir all of this together. And we let it start to simmer. So we're going to bring our temperature down once it's all incorporated. Look at how delicious this looks.
Yum, look at all that mixed together.
Like I said, it's a very hearty stew if you haven't figured that out yet. So there is the stew just about ready. I'm going to cover it and let it simmer for a little while. While you're waiting, now is a good time to cut up the chicken, like Mama Bites is doing here.
I'm kind of pulling it apart more than cutting it.
Yeah, however you like your chicken, that's fine. That's how it'll go into your stew. After about 20 minutes, we're going to add some of the half and half, the chicken, and then just let it continue to simmer, and it's really that easy. So the stew has been simmering for about 20 minutes now. As you can see, we got a very nice simmer going on there, nice and thick, nice and hearty. So now it's time to add, it says heavy cream. We actually just use half and half, and it says to add a half a cup. We add about a quarter of a cup, so I usually just eyeball this, and that's about right there. And then here is our chicken, all cooked, and we're going to add that into the stew right now as well. Make sure you get all the bits, and then you just stir it all together. And then you want to let it simmer again for anywhere between a half hour and 45 minutes. We've let it go for an hour or two before. No problems whatsoever. It actually helps make the chicken just fall apart. It's pretty tender the way it is right now. And you just want to stir it every half hour or so, just to make sure that nothing is sticking to the bottom, because it is pretty thick. As you can see, you have a very nice consistency, very, very healthy, hearty, a good stick-to-your-bones kind of meal that'll fill you up, and it's relatively inexpensive to make. Okay, so we've let the stew simmer for a little over an hour now, and it looks and smells marvelous. For exact measurements, I will put all the ingredients and the measurements in the comment section, so you will be able to replicate this recipe. If you like a little spice to your stew, you can also add red pepper flakes and also some cheese, if you like cheese. We don't add those. Eddie's not a huge fan of spice, although I love spicy food. And yeah.
I'm going to do my final review, but first taste test. Where's the chicken? Oh, this one. I'm getting some chicken. So the food is very good. It's one of the best chicken soups I've ever had.
It's the best, one of the best round chicken stew? Yeah. Awesome.
I like the chicken. I like the corn.
Everything's a little bit thicker than a lot of times.
And you don't know, and you can't even taste the hash browns.
No?
No.
Awesome.
So all you haters of hash browns, you don't have to taste them.
There's somebody that hates hash browns? Oh.
I've never met a potato that I've never not liked.
Yeah.
Subscribe and ring that bell. And remember to enjoy every little bite. Bye. Oh, do.